Welcome. In today's lesson, we'll be continuing our discussion on the techniques of distilling information in the printed word. If you recall in the last lesson, we created a color-coded legend to separate the information of the article in distinct categories through the technique of categorizing. In today's lesson, I will be demonstrating the technique of double distilling, which involves validating the information that we have categorized as potential verifiable fact by conducting online research. So let's get back to it, shall we? The first step in double distilling is to go back out and confer with our color-coded legend. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking for the color that we have associated with the potential verifiable facts. So going back out to our legend, we see here that we have identified the potential verifiable facts with the color yellow. So we go back out to our article, and then we're going to be reading through our article, only reading the yellow highlighted portions, and then we're going to try to do an online search to verify that information. So we'll go back out to our article, Colton Festus, and we will begin reading just the yellow highlighted portions of this article. So Blank, who was born in 1985 and now calls himself Blank, has a criminal record and served probation for a felony assault charge tied to a 2008 incident in Bonne Terre. So I was able to find two articles in another local publication, the Daily Journal. And one of those articles is the arrest article. I'm going to call the arrest article. And then the other is a sentencing article. So we'll start with the arrest article. As you can see, the Daily Journal. Blank claims to be a leader of a Bonne Terre cult. And you can see that it's dated June 4th, 2008. So that verifies that this incident took place in 2008. And we'll read the highlighted section here. Blank, 22, of Bonne Terre, has been charged with first-degree assault and armed criminal action. So that verifies that he does have an assault charge stemming back from 2008. If we go to the sentencing article here, again, the Daily Journal, it reads, Blank gets 5 years supervised probation for assault. And then we'll read the highlighted section. Circuit Court Judge Blank placed Blank, 23, of Bonne Terre, on 5 years of supervised probation for second-degree assault. So that verifies that he had served 5 years of probation for second-degree assault, as has been reported. Now I want to stop right here, and I want to apologize for the heavily redacted documentation that we have here. This grievance between these people clearly was in a public forum. It was published in a newspaper. However, these are private citizens, so they do deserve their privacy, as well as I'm just using this as an example and as an exercise to show you how to do the techniques of distilling information in the printed word. So I'm not trying to, re-traumatize anybody or bring up stuff from the past or anything like that. I'm just simply using this as a instructional, educational tool, and I'm not looking for any trouble out of it. So again, I apologize for the heavy redacted documentation that I'm presenting in this exercise. So okay, so I think we done enough to verify that first paragraph of our potential verifiable facts. So we'll continue on here. He has led a number of groups. He's called churches over the past decade or more, and bought an old church building at 410 Moore Street in Festus in August 2003, according to records from the Jefferson County Assessor's Office. Well, I too went out to the Jefferson County Assessor's Office, and I was able to verify this. If you look at the bottom, highlighted is the physical address of 410 Moore Street, Festus, Missouri. And you'll see that the owner at the top right highlighted is the Antecedent Orthodox Church Incorporated. And that it in fact did take place in August 25th of 2023. So we'll have to do a little bit more digging because this doesn't have the owner's name outright. It has a business. So to do that, I went to the business license web page. Actually, yeah, the web page of the Missouri Secretary of State website. And when I typed in Antecedent Orthodox Church, this is the result I got. So we'll scroll down here. You'll see that the business is the Antecedent Orthodox Church Incorporated. It was created back in 2010, so it has been over a decade. And the registered agent name here that has been redacted is in fact the individual that they're talking about in this article. So I think we pretty much verified that paragraph. So we will continue on. One of Blank's group is called St. Sophia's Antecedent Orthodox Church, has begun holding some activities in the Festus building for a small group of members. So far, no service open to the general public has been held there, but Blank recently announced plans to hold St. Sophia's first public service on Sunday, May 5th. Okay. So once again, we go out to the business license webpage of the Missouri Secretary of State's website, and we type in St. Sophia's Antecedent Orthodox Church. And as you can see, when we scroll down, that there is no record of this being a business entity, at least recognized by the state of Missouri. So that's maybe a little bit misreported because technically, I guess it is just the Antecedent Orthodox Church Incorporated. So, and then as you can see, I have unfortunately not a great copy, but a newspaper ad that does indeed have their first service here. It says Sunday, May 5th, 2024 at 11 a.m. And ironically, this ad appears in the same publication that ran this story. I think it was a couple weeks prior to the story that we're going through now that this ad was placed and ran in. So I think that that verifies all of that, except again, maybe a little bit misreporting on calling it St. Sophia's instead of just the Antecedent Orthodox Church, but we'll let that go. So we'll just continue on here. Blank also leads a group called the Order of the White Road that was formed after St. Sophia's was registered as a nonprofit with the state. And Blank didn't respond to phone calls to a number associated with that group. So once again, we go out to the business license webpage of the Missouri Secretary of State's website. We do a search on the Order of the White Road, and the results are that there is a business indeed with that name, the Order of the White Road. You can see that it was created in 2020, so it was after the Antecedent Orthodox Church was created, if you remember. That was actually created back in 2010. So we'll have to do a little bit more digging because there's no registering agent here. So what I did do is I did find this filing, the registration of fictitious name. And if we scroll down here, we see that the business name being registered is the Order of the White Road, and that the owner information is the Antecedent Orthodox Church. So we know that that church is owned by the individual, and now this Order of the White Road is now associated with this church. So basically they're just doing business as the Order of the White Road, even though the parent company, if you will, is the Antecedent Orthodox Church. So I think that satisfied that information in that paragraph. So we'll continue on. He's listed as the owner or registered agent for St. Sophia's and the Order of the White Road, and the two organizations are connected according to records from the Missouri Secretary of State. Well, to verify the previous paragraph and the information there, we also verified this. So again, maybe a little bit misreporting calling it St. Sophia's, because we know that St. Sophia's isn't registered with the state of Missouri, but we'll just let that go and let that slide for now. And then we'll continue on to the next paragraph here. It says the order was still operating last week, but its website and social media accounts have since been shut down. The website describes the order as an esoteric mystery school and said those who took the courses would learn like the ancients. So if we go out and do a search for the Order of the White Road, we come across this entry here, and it says the Order of the White Road home. It says, this is the official home of the Esoteric Mystery School, the Order of the White Road. Learn like the ancients. And then if we click on that, we get this screen that says 500 server error, try refreshing. So we did verify that, in fact, this web page has been closed or shut down for whatever reason. And then we have, verified that it claimed that it was an esoteric mystery schools and that you would be learning like the ancients. So I think we pretty much satisfied all the requirements of that information. So we'll continue on now to the next potential verifiable fact. After that, Blank formed a group called the Church of the Acolytes of the Seven Thunders, which was registered with the state as a nonprofit before the filing was amended and the group was renamed the St. Sophia's Antecedent Orthodox Church, according to the Secretary of State office. Well, once again, we go out to the business license web page of the State of Missouri Secretary of State's website, and we do a search on Church of the Acolytes of the Seven Thunders. And the results are, if you see here all the way at the bottom left, it says the Church of the Acolytes of the Seven Thunders Incorporated, previously named. So as you can see, the Antecedent Orthodox Church was the Church of the Acolytes of the Seven Thunders. So that indeed is valid and correct. So we'll continue on now. These documents list an address on blank in Bonne Terre for the owner of the register agent for St. Sophia's and the order. So if we go out to the business license website on the Missouri Secretary of State's web page or website, and I found this filing here, and this filing is the Antecedent Orthodox Church Incorporated, and the redacted part is in fact this individual and his address that they listed in the newspaper, and the address for this Antecedent Orthodox Church, if you look to the right, is the aforementioned address, the 410 Moore Street in Festus. And so that's the address of the Antecedent Orthodox Church, but the redacted part is this individual and this individual's address, which they have claimed as his address. So according to the latest filings, which is what we're looking at here, that is true. That is validated. So we'll just move on. In June 2009, Blank pleaded guilty to felony second-degree assault for holding a knife against a man's throat and threatening to kill him. The other man's hand was cut in a struggle for the knife, according to news reports following the incident. So again, we go out to the previous article that I had found in the Daily Journal, the sentencing article. And if we scroll down, well, first let's read the highlighted section. It says, Court Judge blank placed blank 23 of Von Terre on 5 years supervised probation for second-degree assault. And if we scroll down, we'll see some more highlighted sections of this that we will read. It says, according to court records, a 23-year-old Von Terre man received several small lacerations on his hand while trying to get a knife away from blank. And then it goes on here, blank pulled out a pocket knife and grabbed him. Blank pressed the knife against the man's throat and threatened to kill him. And then so that pretty much verifies that actually took place and that happened. So we'll continue on. When blank was arrested, he reportedly told police officers he was the head of the Von Terre cult, authorities reported at the time. So if we go back out to the article, the arrest article, again in the Daily Journal. Let me scroll down to the highlighted section, and it reads, officers found blank and his friends at his home. They were detained for questioning. Blank first asked me if I knew who he was, Blank wrote in his statement. I said no. He then informed me he was the leader of the Von Terre cult. So that pretty much verifies that information. So we'll continue on. After Marcel's guilty plea, he was sentenced to 7 years in prison, but the sentence was suspended and he was placed on probation, for which he completed in August 2013. So if we go back out to the sentencing article in the Daily Journal, and we scroll down to the highlighted section, and it states, if he violates his probation, he could be sentenced up to 7 years in prison. So this verifies that information. And we are done with the article. I think we did a pretty good job of verifying the information that was in the article. So it's pretty accurate. Again, my only issue is that they continue to call it St. Sophia's when it's actually just the Orthodox Antecedent Orthodox Church. But other than that, pretty accurate. So now you have all the information. We have validated all of the potential verifiable facts, which turned them into actual facts. So you can use that to make up your own opinion in your own mind about, what this article says and what you believe about it. Through the technique of categorizing, we have separated facts from the accompanying commentary of opinion and non-verifiable personal experience. Through the technique of double distilling, we have validated those facts. Only after completing these two techniques are we at a point where we're able to render our decision on what we'd read. At this point, I would like to congratulate you on completing the printed word section of the Techniques of Distilling Information digital course. I invite you to join me in the next lesson. We'll be moving on to a new section in the Techniques of Distilling Information. Until then, take care.